Welcome to part one, the physical activity guidelines. The learning objectives for this section are to understand the history and application of the physical activity guidelines for Americans, as well as to be able to recall the physical activity guidelines for adults and older adults. The physical activity guidelines for Americans are issued by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. The first edition was released in 2008, and the updated second edition was released in 2018. These guidelines are evidence-based. We look to the literature to see what's working, what are the health-enhancing benefits of physical activity, what do we need to recommend to certain populations or age groups, and this systematic review is conducted by a committee that then shares recommendations that create these guidelines that are then posted by HHS. And what this means for your daily life is that we have the best available evidence for what might work for you to live your most healthful life through physical activity. One of the things I love the most about the 2018 guidelines is that its companion campaign is Move Your Way. Real emphasis on what's your move. Physical activity makes your daily life better, and everyday tasks help. So doing everyday tasks like chores and shopping, keeping up with the grandkids, staying independent longer. It also has other health benefits like less pain, better mood, reduced risk for chronic conditions. So we want to really emphasize, particularly through the iconography, that it's moving your way, it's gardening, it could be sports, it could be strength training, it could be any movement that works for you. So how much activity do people 18 years of age and older need to get? For moderate intensity aerobic activity, anything that gets your heart beating faster counts. So that could be swimming, golfing, basketball, gardening, doing daily household chores, going for a walk, or wheeling. And it's recommended that you get 150 minutes per week of this type of activity, as well as 2 days of muscle strengthening. This can be broken up over the whole week, however it suits you and your schedule, your lifestyle. But I really want to emphasize the fact that it's both. It's not either or. And I know that sometimes there are those of us who are really attracted to one bucket or the other, but for the best health benefits for ourselves in terms of our heart health, our bone health, our muscle health, all of our different systems working together, not to mention our mood or low back pain. Physical activity reduces low back pain. And so really trying to find ways to balance both of these buckets is super important, particularly as we age. Physical activity can also help manage other health problems like diabetes and high blood pressure. It actually reduces symptoms of arthritis, anxiety, and depression. I know that some of our participants, when you have arthritis, you hurt, you ache, but the more we move, the better we might feel. So it's really overcoming that mental block so that we can move more in our physical bodies. And if you're just getting started, no problem, great place to be. Lift is going to be an incredible program for those participants because all we want to do is slow, incremental improvements over time. So even a 5-minute walk or doing the lift program without weights is still beneficial for you. So whether you're new to exercise or you've been doing it, but maybe you've been doing aerobic and not getting the muscle strengthening, this program can help you create a foundation for lifelong improvements. I'll highlight a couple of other key guidelines for older adults that are mentioned in the physical activity guidelines for Americans. So the guidelines for older adults are very similar for those who are 18 to 64 as they are for 65 and up, meaning we need to sit less throughout the day, get that 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity, as well as 2 days of full body strength training. But older adults should also think about multi-component activities that include opportunities for balance. Be sure to match it with your current fitness level, again, as you think about delivering the program to others or demonstrating the moves in your own body, staying at a level that's safe for you. And really remembering that older adults often live with chronic conditions. So understanding how they could be benefited through physical activity and perhaps seeking physician approval. And we'll talk all about that throughout the training as well. And a final reminder in this final bullet point is that when we can't do 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity to start, building up over time is still beneficial. Again, even that 5-minute walk could go a long way for our health and our ability to age in place and do activities of daily living, from driving to using the toilet. Not only does the Department of Health and Human Services have a real body of literature as well as resources to help us promote physical activity, one of my other favorite places to look is the National Institutes of Aging. There are so many resources, like you can see pointed out here at nia.nih.gov/exercise. So really promoting this idea of endurance, flexibility, balance, and strength, and that all of those combined help us to age in place. Some of the benefits of physical activity are highlighted here on this slide, such as increased strength and balance, decreased risk of fall, increased ability to participate in daily tasks, improved cognitive function, improved mental health, and an increase in a perception of community belonging. So as you can see, this isn't necessarily about weight or how much weight you can lift or meeting numbers and guidelines, but things that really impact your life as well as your participants and clients' lives. So in summary, older adults need to engage in multi-component physical activity that includes strength training, balance, flexibility, and cardiovascular movement. LIFT is here to help. I can't wait to share more in the next module.